My, you haven't had a happy little journey today at all, have you? Well, why don't you go ahead and pick a card? We'll see what fun that brings you.
You can't be serious! What does that even mean? Oh! Let us venture into the realm of educational games again as we discover Jumpstart 4th grade. When I was a kid, this game was awesome, and it was probably one of the last educational games that I played, because I outgrew them into this phase where I thought that they were so stupid, because clearly that's what I was at that age. But back then, these were awesome. Like 3rd grade, Botley was the man. He made me love robotics. Like, my dream was I was going to be a roboticist until I found out how awesome fish were, and then I was going to be a marine biologist until I failed out of chemistry and I discovered I was never going to be a scientist. And then I went off and I got a degree in creative writing and broadcasting. Life's fulfilling. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Jumpstart is awesome. Just look at this game's intro. It's set up like some evil horror game with creepy trees everywhere. All of the mini-games have mummies or vampires or some classic horror trope. It's just awesome. I've said before that I love this look to things, just dripping in that dark, macabre atmosphere, but still with a cartoony feel. Though, I'll settle for just dark and macabre. Or just macabre, it's a fun word. This look is such a far cry from the other Jumpstart games, though. In 2nd grade, it was just the adventures of a frog and a firefly in a school. 5th grade has some kid detective story from what Wikipedia tells me, and 3rd grade had you traveling through time to stop robots from changing history so that you wouldn't eat worms and ice cream for breakfast. But for this game to take such a dark theme was really out there for Jumpstart, and I'm impressed they went through with it. Or they, could release a more safe and neutral adventure to replace the awesomeness in a mere 2 years after, and then act like the Haunted Island version never existed. Sure, that works. Well, they can't stop me. This is what I played as a kid, and I'm sure it helped shape the awesome, weird, depressive loner that loves the word macabre that I am today. So let's rediscover this game and prove why Jumpstart was the coolest thing as a kid. You begin the game watching the evil substitute teacher Miss Grunkle turning all the students into horrible monsters. But you're saved from this fate because you didn't attend class that day, so the purple bat tells you that you must save your classmates before Miss Grunkle comes after you. He directs you to a small fortune teller's wagon to meet Madame Pomrita. She will see the next child you need to save in her crystal ball and directs you to select a card to know what mission you must accomplish in order to find one of that child's precious belongings. The missions are actually various educational minigames located all over the island. You're intended to walk from place to place, getting lost in the woods and being accosted by a ghost who'll ask you random questions. If you get them wrong, you'll be sent off to the labyrinth, which is a horrible maze that you're stuck inside of in first person. Everything looks the same, you're constantly getting turned around, there is no point to it whatsoever, and I hate it. Luckily, don't get questions wrong and you won't get sent there. Or better yet, don't walk to your location. Instead, you can just open up the map, click on where you need to go, and the game will teleport you there. Supposedly, you'll suffer some consequence for playing the game like this, and after the first hour or two, I figured out what that consequences actually are. You don't receive an extra 50 points. When you reach a location by walking there, the game gives you 50 extra points. Every time you accrue 2,500 points, you'll be awarded a skeleton key to use to unlock the doors in Ms. Grunkle's house. So you can wander through the woods, constantly getting lost and being accosted by the ghost to answer all of his questions, all for 2% of a key. Or you can open a map and click on the minigame, skip walking around, and get straight to the part where you earn several hundred points, as well as completing a mission to get the beloved item for the child you're saving. Each minigame has a different thing it's designed to teach, and some are better at it than others. Some also are good at what they're trying to teach, but still aren't really enjoyable. Firstly, there's the Spider Spelling Challenge. You're given a word by the bugs aloud, and then you need to eat the bugs in order to create the word. As you progress in levels, another spider will appear that is trying to eat you and that you have to avoid. The game loved to give me this mission for seemingly no reason. See, I would expect the game to send me somewhere where I wasn't as good at, but I'm really good at spelling. I always have been. When I was in middle school, I would be given a spelling test on Monday that would consist of well over 200 words. Every word that I got wrong would then be put on a list for me to study for that week and have again on a test on Friday. Out of that starting list of over 200 words a week, I would have a list of mistakes that was only 1 or 2 words long. Some weeks, I wouldn't even have any words that I'd spelled incorrectly. So why on earth did it keep sending me back to the challenge that I was very clearly a master at? Then again, at least that was a game. The Mutant Garden didn't feel like a game or that it was teaching anything. You're given plants, a set of unknown variables of what they need to grow, and a required yield from your crop. Through trial and error, you must determine how much water, space, and light they need to grow. I understand now as an adult that it was intended to help teach me critical reasoning and thinking and logical deduction. But as a kid, I just guessed until something worked. Actually, that's pretty much how I solved this game as an adult, too. Similarly, I would tend to end up guessing in the random pirate-themed levels as a kid. You're given a treasure phrase talking about various countries on the globe, and you must set sail to that country and dig up the buried treasure before your supplies run out. The problem that I would run into as a kid was that I was terrible at geography. It was easily my second worst subject. So I would end up sailing all over the map, digging at random, and hoping beyond hope that I'd hit the jackpot. As an adult, I'm actually still pretty horrible at geography. I mean, just the other week, I embarrassed myself arguing with my roommate that Croatia was bigger than New York State, only to actually look it up and realize that the area of Croatia is less than half of the state in question. So, maps are still the bane of my existence. My worst subject as a kid was history. I've never been able to remember dates, and all dead important people's names kind of blend together into a haze of boredom. Even today, they're too similar for my tastes. Which Medici commissioned the Bronze David in the style of the classical god Hermes? I'm gonna go with yes. So when I was little, the Mummy's Tomb was the worst mission that could ever befall me. It's a mahjong tile puzzle that never seemed possible to solve. If you ran out of moves, you had to start all over on the same puzzle, and as a little kid, I was sure some of these combinations of tiles simply could not be solved by no fault of my own. This level had so scarred me that as an adult in college, the first time I received this mission, I actually got scared and upset. But lo and behold, 4th grade me was just stupid. Every puzzle was solvable, you just had to pay attention to which tiles went where. So I am proud to say that I am, indeed, smarter than I was when I was 10. You know, in case anyone doubted me. Another mission the game was obsessed with sending me on was the potion brewing area. You have to brew 3 potions to restore a frog into a self-proclaimed handsome prince. You use eyedroppers to fill a cauldron, and at the higher difficulties, I found this game impossible as a kid. The cauldrons would measure in fractions, and the dropper and book would be in decimals. 10-year-old me's mind was blown, and he simply could not figure out what to do. Looking back, I really feel dumb. Every measurement can be made in 2 moves, and it's either simple addition or subtraction. The book and dropper are still in the same format, so just ignore what it says on the cauldron and do what the incredibly simple math in the book tells you to do. Who cares what fraction 0.6 is equal to? You need to have 0.5 in the cauldron, and you have a 0.1 dropper. Just put 0.6 in and take out 0.1, problem solved. How this counts as a handsome prince, though, is quite baffling. The fact that it's the same prince every time also makes this mission even more baffling. The game I absolutely hated as an adult was the Toad Well. A math equation will appear at the top of the well, and then you need to eat the bug to answer that equation. The game itself is miserable enough because it ramps up in difficulty in response to my success until it's giving me multi-digit multiplication and division equations to solve quickly, one after another. This is genuinely difficult for college adult me. So just picture how unhappy 4th grade 10-year-old me was. But I'm still able to solve the equations in my head fast enough as an adult, but these levels go on for so long. It's unbelievable how long it takes each frog to finish his assigned equations. It's 20 equations to feed the frog. So it'll take you several minutes just to feed 1 frog, and then you have to feed 3 frogs to complete your mission. It is so slow in comparison to the other missions. Also unenjoyable was the clock tower. There you must help Quasimodo's son Semimoto, a moment of silence for that incredibly forced pun. He needs your help with his piano lesson. You watch where the bats fly, then press the corresponding button on the piano. You play about 10 notes, and then you have to sit through him playing a much larger chunk of that song. Again, it's long, pointless, and apparently not even he is sure what song he just played.
What a great musician you are! We just played My Bonnie.
It isn't even difficult. It just feels like you're accomplishing a completely menial task and being rewarded for it. But you'll still get sent back to these missions like a recurring nightmare. The Vampire Maze, on the other hand, is just kind of boring compared to the other game options. You solve more math equations by wandering through a maze and avoiding a ghost and selecting the correct tombstone. The equations are never difficult, so to raise the difficulty, they hide what the numbers are until you walk over them. It's not hard, it's just long and repetitive. I saved the best for last, though. The Cemetery. Have you ever played Mad Libs? It's a weird game where you get told a type of word and you shout out either the first or the dumbest or the weirdest word that comes to your mind in order to create an absurdly short, dumb story for your own amusement. That's what this game is, except enjoyably fast-paced and challenging. Different types of words appear on the tombstone as possible choices flash up all around. You need to identify the correct word type quickly and click on it. The little story that you create is actually the most boring part, when the game challenge will keep you on your toes and thinking throughout. I could not wait to get sent back to the cemetery for these missions. After some of the missions, Ms. Grunkle will fly in on her broom and threaten you. All of her threats are empty though. Even if you invade her house to confront her before you're supposed to, all she can do is send you into the labyrinth. You'll look forward to these little cutscenes though. Even though they don't actually have an effect, you really feel as if you're frustrating the evil teacher. Even better are the cutscenes that you control by invading her house. Every 5 keys will let you open another door to advance deeper into her house. It's so atmospheric as the cutscene takes over to look around. It feels just as curious and interested as you in your surroundings. Why is that skeleton there with a remote? Why do you have to go through her bathroom to get into her living room? It's just so much fun to watch that it really feels like a reward for making it to that point. So I've said that you complete missions to get items of importance to the monster children. Once you have all 4 objects, Madame Pomrita will be able to turn the child back into their normal self. This little rhyming cutscene is adorable, and it makes you feel like you're having an impact on the story to a surprising degree for such a small event. Once all of the kids are rescued, you'll finally go through the last door. I was ready to go through the last door with enough keys for a while before I finished the game, but the purple bat would not let me go ahead until every child was saved. But once you finally can, the end cutscene plays. With you in the room, Miss Grunkle tries to turn all of the kids back into monsters, including you. But you have her wand. I have no idea when or where you got it, but you have it and it lets you prevent her magic. She acknowledges that you and Madame Pomrita have bested her, and she flies away out the window. You'll be dropped back into the game just in case you want to play the missions again, just for fun. That's all that I get for this? That is not again! So in the end, this game was a lot of fun to rediscover, even if it is too repetitive and simple to be really enjoyable to an adult. It'll have its moments now and then, but overall it doesn't have the charm and enjoyability of M&M's The Lost Formulas. They really do nail the atmosphere though. If you go to one part of the world, you can even find a picture of a destroyed, derelict town that looks like it's right out of The Darkness 2. This is actually the overworld map of the preschool game, twisted into the darker theme of this game. If you have kids around this age or grade and you want to give them something that would be both fun and make them learn, this would definitely be a solid choice, along with any other Jumpstart game from that era. Just make sure that you're getting this version, the Haunted Island, instead of the new generic and boring version.
Your quest ain't quite done yet, little Otter. Why don't you go ahead and pick another card? Any happy little card.
Hello everybody, thank you for watching. For those of you wondering, yes, that card you saw at the end is a teaser for the next upcoming episode. That's going to be a new thing here where you'll see a card and you'll have to guess what the next episode is based off it. I mean, you don't have to, but something fun for everybody. And speaking of fun, if you all liked this video, I would greatly encourage you to please like it and share it around because, well, if people don't hear about us, we can't expand our little otter hold, and don't you want to share that enjoyment with everybody else? Yeah, you do, so go right ahead. And I'll see all of you next week. In the meantime, remember, life is always another game waiting to be discovered.
Do not put that on me. Great. It'll do!